Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Super Mario Galaxy. This episode we are going to take on Deep Dark Galaxy. One of the first galaxies in the garden. Let's go. And our first mission is going to be the underground ghost ship. Sounds pretty spooky if you ask me. As you can see, it looks like we have more boos in this galaxy. And we have some more puzzles as well. And it looks like a nice little beachfront, so that's kind of nice. Being able to kind of land on a beach, even though things are about to get pretty dark. We're currently on galactic survey duty. Please be patient with us. We're on an exploration mission. So Captain Toad, of course, is kind of filling us in on what the Toad Brigade is going to do. Or what they're up to, I guess. So I guess they are on vacation secretly and they don't really want us to know. Looks like Green Toad's having the time of his life, spinning around the cannon. Yellow Toad's napping per usual, because the guy just can't get enough of his naps. So of course Mario is going to do all the dirty work per usual. As you can see, we have two unlit torches there, so we do need to light those with Fire Mario. So we'll get that ability in this galaxy. And see if I can actually get this. Well, I was going to try to get that one up. Let me see if I can triple jump for it. On the star shroom, and nice, very nice. All right, so yeah, so the first thing we actually need to do is jump into that cannon, and then of course these seashells are kind of laid out in a kind of a circle shape. Of course, you get star bits if you spin in the middle of that, similar to some of the other ones we've seen in other galaxies that are in circle shapes. Yeah, this guy, I believe he gives you star bits if you are able to spin behind his booty. See, boom, right here. Oh no, it's a one-up. I was wrong. So we'll get another one-up from that guy. It's very nice. All right, so now I think we are... Let's see what's under here, actually. There's a chest over there on the left. Don't remember that being there. But yeah, so this galaxy has kind of a nice mix between some underwater gameplay, as well as, of course, there's a nice little beach area, but then there's a lot more to the galaxy, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about once we get further on. We'll go ahead and use this Koopa shell, and we can, of course, utilize the Koopa shells while underwater again. Go ahead and crack this chest open, see what's inside, and it looks like we have another one-up. So right off the bat, you can actually find 3 one-ups, just like that. So I wanted to kind of show those off. But now it is time to head into the cannon, because we are feeling a little, I guess a little blasty, like blasting off. I'm not sure what that means, but there's an Invincible Mario transformation, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And we have some Octoguys, so we'll go ahead and make fine work of them. Since there's like, I don't know, just a million of them. I don't quite want to take that Sling Star. That'll actually send us right back down to land. We don't want to do that yet. I didn't mean to jump into it a second time. I just have a habit of doing it, so I guess I'm going to try to cut it out. But anyways, this is where you're going to find... Let me see, is there any more Octoguys? Is that all? This is where you're going to find the Fire Mario transformations. We want to crack that baby open. Go ahead and transform to Fire Mario, and then now we can sling on back down to the beach. So what we want to do is actually light those 2 unlit torches, and that'll actually open the gate that is right in front of us, so that way we can move forward. Come on. Oh, my aim is awful. There we go. Just in time. All right, so the gate now is open, which means we can proceed on through the galaxy. So as you can see, we have now another part of the galaxy. We have more Magic Koopas, kind of causing a little bit of drama. More star bits, of course. We have Blue Toad out there on the little land. Let's see what he has to say. Gotta make sure he's all right. Just gotta do our job. Team looks like, so yeah, looks like they are doing some heavy surveying on this beach. So the Toads are actually getting to work. Like they're actually making use, becoming useful for us, and actually doing some odd jobs. So that's kind of nice. Some more growth from the Toad Brigade. As you see, there's an arrow made of star bits pointing in this direction. So this is where we want to go. Hit this switch, and that'll open this gate, allowing us to move even further on. And we have some bubbles for air, which is very nice because we don't want to drown underwater. We have too much to get done, so that's something we don't want to do. But if you go over here, there's another switch. We're just finding switches like crazy. And I love that they have underwater switches. Come on, my spin button wasn't working for a second, or my Wii remote shake thing wasn't working. My sensor bar, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't working. So that's a big jellyfish. We don't want to touch him because he will electrocute us. Cause a little bit of pain, but if you swim up to the surface up here, we have a gigantic ship. So yes, this is kind of nice that they add a little bit of a variation of this galaxy. So we have on one side a nice little beach area, and this time we have a ship which has another familiar face. This is Camilla the Magic Koopa. So she has returned. It looks like she's a little bit upset from last time when we defeated her. So she is going to rematch us. So this fight's pretty similar to the first time we fought her. You just want to wait until she basically throws those Koopa shells at you with her little green magic, avoiding the fire that she throws at you as well, and just focusing on hitting her with the Koopa shell, just like before. But yeah, this fight's pretty much, again, identical to the first time we fought her. Hit her a couple of times right here on the main ship, and then she's actually going to go up higher. Oh, wow, I didn't mean to get too close to that flame. That wasn't really good. We can avoid that. Grab the Koopa shell. Do a nice little spin. I didn't mean to do that. I spinned a little too much, and Mario just flung the Koopa shell. That was a little bit too much spinning, but I got to control myself. But anyways, here's another shell. We'll try not to lose this one by getting a little bit too excited and spinning like crazy. Hit her again. And now she is going to fly up to the top of the ship, where she will summon her little magic Koopas, little devils from hell, whatever you want to call them, but they kind of can get annoying with their little flame balls. You want to try to make quick work of them, take them out instantly like before, because they can get very annoying and make this fight a lot more hectic than it really should be. But now all we have to do is focus on Camilla, try to avoid her fireballs once more. And again, the fight remains pretty much identical once again. So we just want to make sure we get the Koopa shell and fling it at her. I do like Camilla. She's probably one of my favorite boss ideas. It's pretty basic because she's basically just like a giant magic Koopa with a little bit of a different design, but I like her for the most part. She kind of reminds me of Cammy Koopa from Paper Mario. She just has a little bit more, I don't know, like personality, a little bit more creativity about her. I don't know if it's I don't know. She comes off very like boss-like and very intimidating. And honestly, there's really not a lot of bosses that are too intimidating, but she probably is the most intimidating in my opinion. But she has now went down. Her staff will break open once again, revealing a Power Star. First one of the galaxies. So let's go ahead and grab it and add that to the collection. Alright, so we will head right back into Deep Dark for the second Power Star mission. And it is Bubble Blast Off. So it sounds like we are going to be doing some more bubble traveling based off of the title. And the bubble machines have made their return. And it looks like Undergrunt Gunner has made a return once again. This guy does not know when to give up. We have defeated him multiple times now. And it looks like he's ready to go out once again. Let's see what the Toads have to say. That underground gunner is keeping us from exploring. All right, so we need to take care of this guy. What you want to do is kick these melons at his little gunner machine, whatever you want to call that contraption. So a nice little, as you can see, we already hit him twice, and he's already just furious. We want to hit him one more time, and that'll do it for him. But we actually have more we have to do after defeating him. As you can see, his bubble blaster is going to go into full speed. And he's going to blast these things at you pretty quickly. There is a little bit of a few second time or interval where he doesn't blast them, but if you kick 3 melons at him, that'll be enough to send him blasting off. And now we can actually utilize his cannon that he was actually, I guess, sitting on and not allowing us to use. So we'll go back up here, grab Invincible Mario. We have these Octoguys again. I'm going to go ahead and destroy these guys again because this is just fun. And look at this. I love the speed and the momentum you get with Invincible Mario form, and you can just tear these guys a new one, send them back into a dimension that they don't want to ever go to. Of course, we have Fire Mario ability. We have to light those torches again. Let's go ahead and blast right back down to the beach. And let's take a look. Ooh, so this time we actually need to light 3 torches. We need to light this guy. We can proceed on. But as you can see, there are water spouts up there that we cannot platform on without of course, another transformation that we've used before. But we actually do not want to go down there underwater because that's not where we're supposed to go. Yeah, so right here is where we're supposed to platform on. Man, this guy's snorkeling. If you freeze these jets of water, yeah, we can basically use these to platform on if we freeze them. So that means we need Ice Mario. So I think what we actually need to do, try to avoid this magic Koopa, of course. We need to actually go back up to the air and grab the Fire Mario ability, so that way we can light those other 2 torches. And then that should actually allow us to use the Ice Mario ability. Go back into the cannon. I guess I was kind of procrastinating a little bit, if you will. Oh yeah, there's also another planet up there. Let me actually show this off real quick. If you blast off through that tree, you will find another planet up here in the sky. And there is a nice little gold screw we want to unscrew. And that'll reveal a lot of coins that we can find. So this is kind of a nice little extra thing. I don't think this is required for anything at all, but it's nice to collect all these coins. We do a nice little long jump, and we kind of do a little floaty fly thing there. As the planet gets smaller and smaller and smaller under our feet. I love that. And then it eventually disappears, drops us down here where we need to go. But anyways, we got Fire Mario. We're going to head right back down to the beach. And we are going to get this party started with some fire. We are going to light things up here. Because when we're Fire Mario, we just know how to light up a room. Get it? Okay, that's why I don't make jokes. But anyways, Ice Mario ability appears. We'll grab that now. Making its return from Freeze Flame. I think it's the first time we've seen the ability return since Freeze Flame. But now we'll go ahead and skate on over here. We can actually skate across water, of course. Freeze these little water spouts, and now we can platform on top of them and get up to this pole, where we will actually proceed further. And the Octoguys are, again, making another return. They just don't know when to give up, and I guess this is they've claimed this as their land, and they don't want us to be here. So we're gonna have to make this quick and try to avoid those guys as much as possible. But what we actually want to end up over there on that side. I'm trying to remember how to get over there. This part I get a little bit sometimes stumped on, but I think we actually want to jump. Okay, so the arrow's pointing that way. So yeah, we need to go back over there. I don't know why this part gets me... I get a little bit stumped sometimes in this part because it's sometimes not quite clear. This is I think this is probably one of the first galaxies where things aren't quite linear, which I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love working and exploring for where I need to go. If we pop that coin open, we reveal a bunch of sling stars that'll get us to the other side, and that's how we get over there. But now here are the bubble machines that we can utilize. That way we can travel a little bit quicker and use the bubbles to get a little bit more height on these platforms. Try to avoid these fire machines, because I guess when there's water machines, there's also fire machines. So, but yeah, so I do like the idea of having galaxies that are not quite just linear, where I think in the beginning of the game up until now, they pretty much give you kind of a linear, pretty much like an obvious path on where to go and what to do. This galaxy is where things start to kind of get a little bit more challenging, but I like that. But that bubble's actually going to shoot us all the way out here to this planet. You want to go ahead and ground pound on all these little wooden stumps, avoiding these cheap sheeps that are just They're just freaking bouncing about on this planet. I don't know how they're surviving so long up here without being, like, breathing in water. They're fish, but, you know, who knows? Mario logic. And now we'll be sent up to another planet where we have some tennis balls. And I think that's a little... Is that like a little fruit? Like a little watermelon thing down there? That's what it looks like to me. This thing's gonna shoot out lasers that are gonna zap us because we weren't careful there. So basically this part can be kind of confusing if you have no idea what to do here. But since I've done this before, let's see, we can talk to the toad out there actually. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so Power Star is hidden in the watermelon. We have to ground pound the tennis balls in order to get to it. So basically, so yeah, our star is in that little tiny watermelon. So this is probably one of the weirdest missions, but I kind of like it. So it's kind of a nice little switch up from what we've done in the past. So what we want to do is actually ground pound these tennis balls right when they are beneath us, and that will actually make the watermelon grow in size. I don't know how that quite works. That doesn't really follow any logic that I'm used to, but anyways, it's kind of a nice little new idea. We'll just go with it. Second tennis ball makes the watermelon grow even bigger, then third one makes it grow so big it breaks the whole thing, revealing our Power Star. Again, I'm not going to question how that works from a logical standpoint, but for the most part, we did pretty good because we got another Power Star. Alright, so we're going to dive right back into Deep Dark one more time for the third Power Star mission, which is Guppy and the Underground Lake. So Guppy has returned as well. Right, looks like we have Guppy all the way at the bottom of the lake there, so that's actually where we're going to want to travel this time around. And yeah, I have to say, as much as I love the new, I gotta say, oh man, the toads they're having like a little bonfire. What are they doing here? That mean Guppy is down below, but I fear no fish. Man, Captain Toad just trying to act tougher than he really is. This guy, I gotta give him credit. He doesn't give up. He's confident. He's persistent. We gotta give him that. Points for persistence. There we go. But what I was kind of saying before was I love the return of some of these new characters that they introduced in the game, like Guppy and like Camilla, some of the other bosses. Let's see what you have to say. Please, you got to run Guppy right out of here. So yeah, we got to run Guppy out of here. But yeah, I love the utilization of the... they definitely make these characters, they give them a lot of good kind of recurring parts in the game where they are... utilized in a way where it's done pretty well. I think some of the characters and bosses are maybe utilized a little too much, whereas I think they could have maybe just came up with like new ideas for other new characters introduced instead of just having the same ones reoccur in many galaxies. But I like Guppy, and I like, even though he's creepy looking, I like the idea of having these characters kind of return and kind of cause some trouble. What, you again? You gotta be kidding me. You want to run me out of this lake? You gotta get through all 8 rings. So yeah, so just like before, back over at Sea Slide, Guppy has returned here to give us another little ring course. We just want to make sure we swim through all these little rings. There's going to be 8 of them like last time. Not too difficult. We've done this before. So we're kind of ready to go for this one. But yeah, this one, again, these courses are not too difficult. Again, I wish there was a little bit more difficulty to some of these. I guess this one kind of can get a little more challenging because they kind of throw some rings around like those jellyfish, the guys. There's a lot more enemies kind of in your way. Of course, we have the little sea urchins down there towards the middle that can cause some trouble. But we're already on number 2. We only have one more ring to get. Like, that was so fast. Cheap Cheeps, of course. I love the Cheap Cheeps, how they look in this game. I have to say that. This part can be, I guess, a little bit difficult to maneuver, but for the most part, it looks like we did well because that gained us a Power Star. So that is all to it. Again, I wish they had a little bit more challenge in some of these ring missions, but hey, I'll take it nonetheless. And we'll throw our shell into Guppy because he deserves it, and we'll grab our final Power Star of the video. All right. But that's actually going to do it for this episode. So next time on Super Mario Galaxy, we are going to tackle the next Galaxy of the Garden and get closer to saving our special one, who's at the center of the universe. So until then, I will see you guys later.